everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Poker News podcast. We have a very exciting show for you this week, not including Daniel Cates, as we said last week. I don't think anyone will be surprised by a weird, like, smoke, show disappearance from the Cates. And after I sent Chad some of the questions I was thinking of, things we were, looking at discussing, maybe he just got scared. I don't know, but Cates is gone. And I feel like we should just kick it off with the fun drama and controversy while we're talking about the biggest names in poker, while we're talking about some of the most exciting stuff to go down this last week. I just got done, while I was doing my makeup, I was just watching the Doug rant Daniel. Now, I didn't see the interview with Daniel, which apparently was going on sort of simultaneously with this like streamcast they were doing. Very interested to hear. I'm sure, Jeff, because you and Daniel are so close, you will know all the details on
Very
that.
Good friends with the Negreanus, yeah.
Jeff, catch us up. What's the latest? It's finally getting juicy again.
Yeah, let's do this in rapid fire form. So long story short, Negreanu in his post-game interview on Monday with Brent Hanks and Barstool Smitty said that he was running bad. He brought up a couple of spots and, makes sense. Okay, ran bad in those spots. They relayed that information to Doug Polk on his post-game interview on his channel, on the Upswing channel. They're like, oh, it looks like, everybody in the chat is saying that Negreanu is running bad. And Polk I guess they both kind of lost it simultaneously while they're both doing their post-game interviews. So they're both complaining about the other one's complaints. Negreanu's saying he's running bad, and Polk is saying he's running hot. Like, I've never played somebody heads up who has run as hot as he has. So Polk creates a video about it, of course, and Polk is like, I don't understand how this guy can complain time and time and time again. And Negreanu is saying, here's why I'm complaining. It's because I'm running into this spot time and time again. So Sarah, you've waited for the drama this whole time, and yeah, we are picking things back up a little bit as they are certainly starting to take some shots at each other, and that's drawing some attention for sure.
There was a little cameo by my boy Jeff Platt also.
Yes, I finally made a Doug Polk video, and I am honored.
He was like, these commentators too are like acting like Daniel's getting the shit into the stick. I was like, oh, and then just flashing Jeff's face up there just to really stick it to him. What the hell?
Right. Well, he's also like, do you expect me to say after Negreanu brings up a spot that he ran bad in, do you expect me to be like, nope, you're wrong, Daniel Negreanu. I'm just the guy who asks the questions.
Running really bad. That's the real thing.
I'm just glad. Look, these guys aren't friends. You're not ever going to be friends. Stop acting like you're friends. I like this fuck me, no fuck you kind of drama. Let's get it going. I'm excited about it. It was stale for a little bit there, but now it's exciting again.
I will say, though, the time frame with which they ran with this thing on Doug's stream, I was kind of getting also a little tired of it. I was like, this is stale. The joke is over. It was funny for the first 17 hands we did this, but if I have to hear about the turn luck one more time, I'm going to poke something through my eardrums. But yeah, so at least we're back into a little bit of fun. And as we said, we were all disappointed by their, meeting and not having some sort of UFC weigh-in showdown situation. It was very cordial and want. Nobody wants that. Let's get back to the internet, back behind our computers, and let's start talking some shit. Am I right? Okay, so also this not in the rundown I see, but just because I am curious every week, do you guys know what's the latest on the Galfond challenge? Should I reach out to Chance? Is now a good time? Might he be salty right now?
I don't know what the latest is on the Galfond challenge, but I could have, I should probably throw that in the rundown like I have every single other week. I do see that their latest update is that they will return to action coming up this Friday. And as far as overall scores, Chad, how about we go to PokerNews.com for the very latest on that?
I'll say one thing that I know has happened in the Galfond challenge is off the felt, and that Chance Kornuth and his wife welcomed a baby to their family, right in the middle of this challenge. And I think that, for what I can tell on social media, that's kind of exciting for Chance Kornuth. Obviously having, the kid, but just coming back, he's ready now. He's got that excitement. And I think he's down about $550,000 There's about 25,000 of the 35,000 hands have been played. And once again, they're playing 100, 200 PLO. And if you recall, Chance Kornuth is bet 250,000 to Phil Galfond's 1 million, getting 4-1 on his money. But $550,000 in the hole is going to be hard to dig out of with just 10,000 hands left to go.
Unless you're Phil Galfond, and then you would figure out a way to do it, no problem, obviously. All right, we've got a couple of other very interesting stories. I think some that could, have potential to have some pretty serious impact. Some we're just going to, glaze over, courteously as we have champions and things of that nature. But I made a video this week, sort of, I guess, looking over the life of Doyle Brunson, the legend, the Texas Dolly, the godfather of poker. And one of the things I kind of was digging into that I didn't know or realize about Doyle was that there was some speculation at some point in the early 2000s that he was going to buy the World Poker Tour, or was a part of a company that was going to buy the World Poker Tour for something like $12 million. And then the stocks for that company went crazy. And then once it was released that he wasn't actually going to buy it, or there was some reason why they ended up not buying it, then the stocks for that company sort of plummeted. And he actually was investigated by the SEC for, some sort of like stock fraud or insider trading or something along those lines. Very interesting things I didn't know. But then to see this morning the news that the World Poker Tour was recently pseudo-purchased, as we all know, in this corporate conglomerate world where things are parceled and parsed off constantly. Not that I'm familiar with that or anything, but the World Poker Tour has again been sold, and this time for the figure of $78 million. And it's interesting because it seems sort of like Zappos or Amazon, or when Amazon bought Zappos, lots of these really big corporate, mesh ups, they end up like really keeping a lot of the things the same, the same CEOs, the same sort of business practices, which always leads me to wonder exactly what the end game is. If there's not like heads on the chopping block, I don't know what we're doing anymore. But any thoughts on this one from you guys before we move on?
This one was kind of a strange one. It certainly came out of nowhere. Not a lot is known about Element, who has purchased this new company. So I think, what the future holds remains to be seen. I think it's interesting that, so back in, 2018, Blackridge Acquisition Corporation, it paid just a shy of $214 million for the WPT and Allied Esports International, right? So they have this whole goal of meshing up poker with esports, and we've seen that with the WPT holding many of their final tables in Las Vegas at the HyperX Esports Arena at Luxor. And so from what I can piece together, I think that's broken up now, that the WPT and Allied Esports are, no longer kind of aligned in the same vertical, and hence, the smaller selling price of only $78 million. It'll be interesting to see. I don't know what to make of it at this point in time. I watched a video by WPT president Adam Pliska, who seemed very hopeful. Of course, you're going to put out that sort of video. He's not going to make a video like, this is terrible news. But Adam Pliska and the rest of those guys at the WPT have always put on a good show, and I expect that to continue.
WPT seems like a valuable property. Everybody is trying to get into the online gambling space. So I would think that they had plenty of offers at a certain price if they're looking to sell off the poker part of the company. And I'm guessing that this is a pretty good one.
Yeah, and I mostly am just curious if they're going to maintain this model of, executing the final tables sort of all in 1 or 2 weeks at this esports arena type place, or really anywhere. I mean, they could host it anywhere, but I have to imagine that was maybe part of that partnership, or maybe that was sort of motivated by that partnership with the esports side of the company. And so we'll be interested to see if they continue with that, and, if that ends up being successful, which really we have yet to see at this point, right? We've only seen a couple of those go down, and things we had some dramatic changes go down very soon after they made this shift in our society. So we'll have to see. There is several things going on in regards to the World Series of Poker circuit, one of which it came directly from Chad Holloway's Twitter. So I figured Chad would probably be best to talk about that. And it is Wow. I was just going to say Toby Lewis, who took down this circuit event. And then I was like, who's Dust Pistons? Isn't he 8-10 of clubs? Chad, you can go ahead and.
Yeah. So the WSOP circuit is moving stuff online for at least the early part of 2021. They've announced that they're going to hold monthly circuit stops. They're going to be these online series awarding gold bracelets. There will be a sort of leaderboard for an end of the year event. And of course, the first one is underway on WSOP.com. So open to players in Nevada and New Jersey. As of today, 6 events have wrapped. The first one that you just mentioned was won by Toby Lewis. It was the big 500 kickoff, $500 buy-in, took that down for over $35,000. A couple other players who have captured rings thus far are Aaron Frey, Romain Lottie, and then just last night, as we're recording this, Daniel Jordan, Bunzer 07, took down a $1,000 buy-in high roller. Got 252 runners, so he took that down for $49,000. So the numbers are actually decent. I expect that to continue throughout this series and the rest of the monthly series. And, speaking of big numbers, Sarah, there was another WSOP circuit that wrapped up. It was the international circuit on GG Poker. And I got to tell you, I wasn't paying super close attention to this. I was reading the recaps on PokerNews. We were doing the live updates. But when I seen this headline about the winner of the $1,700 main event, Paulius, Plausinitis. I'm sure I butchered that, but that's usually always the case with those crazy Lithuanian names. But he took it down for more than $1.2 million from a $1,700 buy-in tournament. And it just really shocked me. You don't see 7-figure scores too much in the poker world, especially in the online poker world, and especially with a buy-in of just $1,700. But it got 6,395 runners. It surpassed the $10 million guarantee by making it $10.3 million in the prize pool. So just a very impressive winter online circuit between the World Series of Poker and GG Poker. I don't know if you guys saw that number, but it certainly blew me away.
I did just so happen to see it. I mean, I was on the call of the final table, guys. Don't mean to brag about that opportunity on ggpoker.tv. And Chad said it. I mean, GG just absolutely crushed it for the World Series of Poker circuit. It's not surprising. I mean, they're taking over the poker world. At one point during the series, this was on a Tuesday, they had 350,000 players online. I mean, they ran 18 ring events. They ran 672 side events. They guaranteed $100 million in prize pools. They eclipsed that guarantee, just like they did with this main event. I mean, it was absolutely absurd. The turnouts were absurd. And I know that these kind of turnouts will continue in 2021.
And really some great big names at the final table. I'm sure you guys had a good time calling it, in that a lot of them are, I think, really aggressive, really interesting players to watch. Alexandru Papazian, he's definitely one of my favorite Romanian players. He's very aggressive and very crazy. Joseph Chong, as we all know, is a maniac. Ioni Yukomaiman. And also, I'm just going to say, Paulius Plausinitis. Right?
Plausinitis.
Yeah, I have a Lithuanian camera guy. He's really walked me through the way to approach the last names of Lithuanians.
I like it.
But yeah, and I think, it was a fantastic event, as we've mostly seen from GG Poker in every event and every aspect. So in honor of that, why don't we just take the time now to hear a little word from the homies at GG.
GG Poker continues to revolutionize online poker with exclusive new games and features that set it apart from the opposition. Play at neck-breaking speed on the site's exciting spin and gold jackpot sit-and-go events and win big. Or grind it out in the weekly $300,000 guaranteed GG Masters. You guys will not want to miss out on the GG Poker bonuses. You can get either $100 in cash and free tickets, or 100% match bonus up to a maximum of $600. You guys definitely do not want to miss out on their match deposit bonus. You can check that out on PokerNews.com. Be sure to search GG Poker bonus on PokerNews.com.
Speaking of the World Series of Poker, I have a special little clip here, a little short interview, if you will. I was at the MSPT Venetian a few weeks back when I seen one Jerry Yang, winner of
the People's Champ.
The People's Champ, Jerry Yang, 2007 World Series of Poker main event champ. And I've known Jerry for many years. He's never turned me down for an interview. So I said, let me catch up with him on a break. It's only a few minutes long, but we get into what he's been up to, what his poker playing's been like amid the pandemic, and how the pandemic has affected his restaurant businesses. Here is my interview with 2007 WSOP champ Jerry Yang.
Yeah, I mean, it's 2021 now. Pretty crazy 2020. I was just curious, how it impacted you and kind of what you've been up to. I know you had the restaurants here in Vegas and such, so I imagine those were impacted a bit.
Yeah, restaurant-wise, it has not been good.
What about poker-wise?
Yeah, poker. I have not been playing much lately because of the COVID.
Right.
Yeah, especially in California, they kind of go back and forth. They one couple of months they shut down outside, and then they go back inside, and then just kind of back and forth. So I didn't really have much time to play. I cut down some of my staff. So when you cut down on your staff, you have to work more.
Sure.
To make ends meet. So it's been a little rough.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Do you have two restaurants, like one in California, one in Vegas here, or what's the situation?
No, the one in Vegas.
Just
I don't have anymore.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, only I sold the one in California, and then I opened another one in Fresno. So I just have one right now. Yeah.
Gotcha. And you're playing in this tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Did you, like I said, you didn't get to play much poker in 2020. What inspired you, to come out and play this tournament?
Yeah, I've been working so hard and just almost 7 days a week. So I told my wife, hey, can I just go? She was a little hesitant, but she was also understanding, and she knows that I love playing poker. So she gave me the permission to come out and play, for a couple of days. Yeah. And go back into the kitchen.
Yeah. How are you feeling about your poker game nowadays? Obviously the game's changed quite a bit even since you won. You keeping up and everything?
No, not really. A lot of young players are pretty aggressive right now. I've been watching a little bit on YouTube, especially Poker Go, and but yeah, it has changed quite a bit. I think. Yeah, people are more aggressive nowadays. Yeah, a lot more strategies.
Have you kept on top of the PokerNews, like that they managed to hold the World Series main event this year, kind of an online live hybrid?
Yeah, I know. I read a little bit about that, but not so much.
Right.
Yeah.
And is it kind of just? It's a crazy world. We don't know what's going to happen, but right now it's just the work grind and then kind of find poker time when you can.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. When you're once a poker player, always a poker player. It's like you have this little itch. You just can't get rid of it. So we still have to make a living for our families, but whenever I get a chance, I always try to find time to go and play.
This begs the question. I recognized you in the field what you're playing. Mm-hmm. Do you get recognized whenever you do play quite often?
Even with the mask on.
Right.
They recognize my voice more.
Right.
They say, aren't you Jerry Yang? You sound just like him. And then I said no, and then they walked around. They look at like last night I was playing cash game. One guy said, "You for sure you're Jerry." I said no. He walked around, looked at the little machine in front of the dealer. He said, "You're lying."
Right. Always good to hear from the people's champ, the man that is Jerry Yang. And I think while we're talking about some of the bigger names in poker, some of the more favorite players, I would say, in poker, we are hard pressed to forget our streamers, the streamers that have made their mark on the poker world, Lex Veldhus and Arlie Shaban, who both apparently have been crushing it in the Blowout Series. Who wants to be in charge of this?
I'll take it. I'll do rapid fire once again. It was Arlie winning a Blowout Series event. It was a $22 buy-in with a field of 15,572 entries. Arlie takes it down for almost $20,000. I almost feel bad for Arlie. It's hard to feel bad for somebody who won $20K off a $22 buy-in tournament, but he wasn't feeling well, so he wasn't able to stream. So this is like one of his biggest accomplishments in poker. He had the chance to have this massive audience, and he was kind of just stuck on the couch firing off, but I'm sure he felt fine with that 20K score. And then I feel like we bring up a big final table for Lex Veldhus every couple months or so, and he final tabled the 5K. I believe he finished fourth for about 100K in that 5K event. And, you know, the people they just flocked to him. I think he had more than 20,000 viewers at one point throughout that final table. I'm sure that would have gotten even bigger if he won the whole damn thing. So Lex has had a fantastic showing. And then he also went deep in what I think is looked at as the blowout, you know, main event, quote unquote, in the 1K. And he went deep there for a 14K score. So Lex is on fire. Arlie is on fire as well.
Huge win recently in the world of online poker. Just kidding. That's a horrible way to start the beginning of this story.
I guess
many
we'll
people
edit that
were
out.
celebrating. I mean, in terrible, sad news, Sheldon Adelson recently passed away.
Mm-hmm.
He was really old, I want to say, right? Like he
was
had
87.
surgery, but...
Yeah,
87 is I mean, that's up there for sure. But he was active pretty much right up into the end. In fact, it was only a week before his passing that he kind of withdrew from participating in the Sands Corporation businesses. And so, you know, give credit. The old dog was in the fight for a long time, so to speak. He gave it his best for a while.
Yeah, and you know, he's rightfully criticized within the poker community for his efforts to halt online gaming and, of course, online poker. There's no question about that. But I think when we take a look at what he did for his employees during the pandemic, where he paid them the full amount every single day that the Venetian and Palazzo were closed. And I think he was terrific to his employees. I get it that he's not well liked in the poker world, but I think that we have to, you know, kind of respect what he did for some people who could have really been in trouble if they were just let go, like they were in a lot of different spots.
Yeah.
Did he do that because he was being altruistic, or did he want to make sure that he had employees when things were ready to open up?
I mean,
Sarah.
It's possible.
Yeah. He could have not paid them like every other casino, you know, and just
Is that what happened? All the other casinos just let all their employees go,
Basically.
and just the Venetian paid their employees still?
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, and I was tasked after his passing of doing an article about his kind of rise in the casino business. And I didn't know much about Sheldon Adelson other than his online poker, being an opponent to online poker. So it was kind of interesting to delve into how he built his casino fortune. He was really the pioneer of making casino resorts, you know, combining high-end hotels with the gaming, and then also the convention space, really using the convention space as part of it all too. So that was all pretty interesting, learning about his making really all his money in the Asian market when he built some casinos in Macau. It was all pretty interesting. Now, of course, like Jeff said, we're in the poker world, so we are not big fans of Sheldon Adelson because of what he did against online poker and holding that industry back, undoubtedly. I like to liken it to this. I'm a Miami Dolphins fan. I do not like Nick Saban. He came in for 2 years and he abandoned the team. I'm always going to hate Nick Saban. On the flip side, Nick Saban is a hero amongst Alabama college football fans and is always going to be. Lots and lots of people love him. And Sheldon Adelson is kind of similar. Those of us in the online poker world are going to dislike him. We're going to hate him. But that's not to say he didn't do other great things throughout his life, you know, in the casino industry, in, you know, being charities and all kinds of things like that. So I think I've heard it on other podcasts. I'll say it here. Like, if you don't have anything nice to say about somebody, don't say anything at all. So that's going to be my stance with Sheldon Adelson.
Oh my gosh, that's super interesting to listen to. I'm so glad we have you as a co-host on this podcast.
Sarah coming out firing today.
I'm just kidding. But actually, yeah, I saw that you had to write that article and I was thinking, wow, that's like a tough one. I think you took a great approach on it. I don't even play online poker. I really never did. I had like $100 on line when everything fell apart. So it's not been a huge sore spot for me either. I think I'm just salty at like really rich people because I'm jealous, basically. Fair. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Okay, well, anyways, that's a sad story, and I'm glad that he was able to do all that for his employees. That is actually very much impressive. And, you know, maybe that sometimes people come to the end of their life and they're just ready to give back. And I actually was also very surprised that he was working and involved as long as he was, because I'm pretty sure non-Hodgkin's lymphoma is like a very serious and aggressive form of cancer that I would imagine for most people at 87 would take them out of the game. So he's clearly a fighter and a tough guy. And on that note, which seems really weird, let's take a quick break and hear from our homies at Run It Once.
Is a brand new online poker site founded by poker superstar Phil Galfond, who has the player's experience at heart. Run It Once plans to make online poker fun and less predatory while providing ample rewards and innovative features at the same time. All new Run It Once players who download the software via PokerNews are entitled to a 100% deposit bonus worth up to €600. What makes this welcome bonus unique is that you can make as many deposits as you like for that first 30 days after your first deposit. This makes it perfect for those players who do not want to or cannot deposit $600 in one chunk. Be sure to check it out at once.run/pnpod. That's once.run/pnpod.
All right, well, you guys, I'm going to be gone next week. My mama's coming to town. I'm going to pick her up from the airport. I live in the country now. The airport is hella far away. But I am actually the very next day going to be down at the Lonestar Poker Series doing some content from there. So you guys can look forward to that. They have a very cool tournament I'm going to go down there to cover. Have you guys ever heard of this? It's a super cool idea, I thought. So it's a bounty tournament, but everyone has a different bounty and you don't know what it is. So everyone gets an envelope in front of them with like an amount, right? And then when you bust that player, you can either keep and open your own ticket and take theirs, or you can open their ticket, right? And get whatever their bounty is. Some of them will be like 500, some 300, some 100, and some will be 0. So it's kind of like Deal or No Deal meets Poker Bounty Tournament. And I think that's so fun.
Sweet. It's kind of like what the World Series was going to try in 2020 with the mystery bounty. Now, you couldn't like swap out and everything, but you were to receive a mystery bounty. And then, you know, I envision this whole television production where you'd come up to the grand stage and see what your bounty was worth. So I like that they're trying it in Houston.
I think it's cute. I think it's a fun idea. And Heath's going to come down and play. Chad, are you going to come down for the series at all?
I will not be down at the series, but we will be doing various updates for PokerNews. Like I said, you're going to be on site. Nice. We're going to have social media presence, and we'll have a blog on pokernews.com with all sorts of content. So be sure to check that out. I'll be living vicariously through those updates.
Yes, and it's only 6 million hours from where I live, but I'm very much looking forward to it. And a brand new poker club in a different place this time. So you guys can just patiently await the return of Chad and Jeff next Wednesday. We'll be in a totally new world here in the United States. I hope it's still all together. I hope we can all just still be pushing on together in this world as it is, and in the poker world. We have lots of exciting news for you coming next week, some of which is secret and we can't reveal yet. So I need to get off soon, or else I will reveal it, as everyone knows. All right, if you guys want to like, rate, review us on iTunes, we would really appreciate us. You can follow at Jeff Platt, at Chad A. Holloway, at Auntie Chardonnay. Let us know who you'd like to hear from, who you'd like to see. I need to reach out to someone for next week. So for sure, if you guys have some good ideas, let me know. In the meantime, enjoy your lives. Deuces.
The key to winning big is using every little bit of knowledge to your advantage. At Oddschecker, we give you the edge. Better odds, better picks, and better offers to make you a better bettor. Why settle for less? Quickly compare the odds at every sportsbook to ensure that you're getting the best price to maximize your return. Visit us at www.oddschecker.com/US. Oddschecker. Sports betting smarter.